at home, so I was doing the images in vinyl and then putting them on the screen. But I would do it, and that's one option that works. But I would do it, and then they would just like come off, and I would realize like I was spending hours and hours like weeding this vinyl, laying it, and then it would just like disappear. So I was like, screw it, I'm gonna pay somebody to do it. And so I paid these guys to print these, and I think it works actually a lot better with just a normal silkscreen than with the vinyl. So just in case you think you've got a hack, you don't. It doesn't work. So I use, for all of my work, I use this rice paper. It's like calligraphy paper, and I'll get you guys the name of it. I can't remember what the name of it is, but and I did the smart thing of I bought a whole roll of it in Korea, and I was like, oh man, I bet I can do this process, and it worked really well, and I could transfer it to the pot, and I could peel it back, and then I couldn't find that paper to save my life after that. So I have no idea like what paper that is, which is fine. It works fine just to leave it on the pot and let it burn off, but that's the process I'm using. Now, I'd prefer to be able to pull it off, because then you can really see what you've got, and if you need to like reapply it, you can do that, but it's okay. It's okay this way. So I've spent a bunch of money trying to chase this paper down, still can't find it, but someday I'm gonna find it. So anyway, all I do is lay down a sheet, and I use just like the Amico velvet underglazes, and then I throw them in the oven and I dehydrate them down to about 2/3 of their original volume. And then I load them up in my little mustard dispenser. I love these things. Like I use them all the time and all kinds of stuff. And then it allows, like usually when you see people silk screening, they'll use like a trough and they'll load it up with ink, and then they'll do that thing. And I just think this is so precious to me that I want to like apply it like one little dab at a time. So anyway, all I do is like I'll come in, and sometimes I'll do this kind of thing where I'll just like do little squirts, and then I've got kind of an uneven image, you know, and I like that kind of stuff in my work. I like these little weird accidents that happen.
I'm just, that red part is, the clay doesn't go through that, is that right?
Right, yeah, the red part is the
solid.
Basically clogged, this clogged up pores basically. And so this is one side, like, and I just kind of have to rip it off quickly.
To not tear the paper?
No, to get the ink off.
Get the ink
Yeah, like if I go slow, like you can see, like I went slow in the beginning and it stayed in there, so you have to like yank it. So that's the process for this. This is like this image is two sides of the same image. So I'll flip it over, and then once that's dry, I'll print with this side as well. So I get like that two layers
on the same piece of rice paper.
on the same piece of rice
How
paper.
do you get it off the screen after did you have to wait for it to dry, or?
No, I just keep going. Like I go as much as I can. If it dries, like sometimes I'll be focusing on this, like I'll print, this side a bunch of times, and I'll get gunk like that will solidify. And so if I need to print this side, then I have to wash it and dry it.
Well,
So
only when it gets to that point, but the part you rub that you can go over and over again and again.
yeah,
So holes are still.
Yep. Yeah, and I don't put any additives. I just reduce it. Although I'm curious to see what this Mako stuff. Rebecca gave me some. What do they call it? It's like screen printing.
It's screen printing. I should have brought the bottle. Shoot, it's a.
Makes it more viscous.
It makes it thicker. What you're doing is you're reducing yours, and so I'm using it full strength, just regular strength, watered down, or like the liquid underglaze, and then I add that to it, and it thickens it just like what you're doing with yours.
Yeah.
Taking the moisture out, reducing it down so it's thicker.
Yeah, I like this idea though, because this is expensive, but if you just thicken it, then you've got
And you can
same-
re-thicken it. You can re-moisten it.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that till just about 10 minutes ago.
Oh, like add more water into it? Yeah, yeah. Well, and you've also got the same, you don't, like, I'm concentrating this stuff, and so it's gonna be whiter, you
Yeah.
know? And so, like, I'd like to play around with that thickening stuff to make sure that it's, maybe lots of layers and they're thinner. So let me I'll bring you guys some paper, the finished product, and you can see.
Just so pretty.
So do you have to wait for it to dry to reprint over it?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Good
You
question.
have to wait for the rice paper to dry or for both to dry?
Yeah, I wait. Okay, so yeah, that's a really good question. And it gets a little weird. So I wait for it to dry completely, and then I have to reprint, I have to wet it back down, like very lightly.
How do
Just
you do
spray
that?
it?
Like spray it?
Spray it, and then you leave it out, and you have to watch it and
For like the perfect.
for the perfect, yeah.
Why is that?
Because otherwise it's wrinkly, and you won't especially if I'm printing twice on the same paper, I want that paper to be exactly as it was when I printed on it the first time. So it's got to be re-wet and laid down as flat as possible. It doesn't always work,
That's
But
before you
that's-
do the second coat of silk screening on the same piece of paper. You
Yeah.
moisten it? Okay.
Yep. And it's it's very subtle. I'll spray it and I'll leave it, and if you have it on this surface, it'll dry out a lot slower. If you have it on that surface, it'll dry out faster. You really have to watch it.
Can I bring one of your mugs over so you can kind
Yeah.
of
Yeah, sure.
So when
And then
you
these are,
reprint, are
kind of
you
finished.
moving to a different part of your screen and using a different aspect of the image?
These,
So this is what causes it to be double. This is the first, or this is the second?
that's the first,
Okay,
and the more white is the second.
okay.
Yeah.
So are
Okay.
these doubles or are these all singles?
Those
this
are
is
doubles,
the first.
probably.
So you do the
This is the
same
second?
image, you match the image, so you get this is for a second coat. That's what everybody's getting.
Right, second coat.
Got it.
Yeah.
So sometimes
Wait,
it's
it's
a little bit.
matched perfectly? Or it's not?
Well, it's not always matched perfectly.
But you tried to match
But
it?
is
tried
that
to
what
match it
you're
perfectly.
trying to register?
If you look up, if you hold it
This
up to
one
the light,
looks a little bit hazy, doesn't it?
Yeah,
A little
I
bit
don't
dull.
get that.
But it's two different
that's kind of
images,
cool.
isn't it?
Yeah, it's got
But to
kind of-
try to
It
register
kind of
this
is.
Well,
correctly.
Well,
when he
this
hits it right,
image,
Because that's
You
the
get, like,
lower
that
one, and
flames,
then
it's just
this background one is
really
more
easy.
that one, right? Like they're not the same image.
no, but this image is inside of this image.
Oh,
So-
I see it. Oh,
Yep,
it's
yep,
right-
yep, yep.
Oh, okay.
So I always line it. That's exactly what.
What you
So
like.
that little branch is that branch,
I see.
and so I'll find the little leaves that I know, and that's how I'll match it
It's
up.
almost like you're getting a darker foreground than the background-y stuff there or something. Like this stuff is doubled, but not everything in there is doubled.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. Yeah. So this is completely has no underglaze on it. This one, and then this one has one layer of underglaze and maybe none. Yeah.
How did you come to that style,
Um,
that method?
I've always been playing around with graphics and stuff. So I was kind of thinking it was mainly about trying to see if I could print twice, and seeing what that would do. And so trying to figure out, basically how you could come up with 3 tones in, on the pot, right? So you've got the base clay, and then you've got 1 layer of white and 2 layers of white, and those give you your 3 tones, So, but yeah, it's kind of it's tricky. It's not always, it doesn't always work very well, but I kind of think that's the fun of it too, is it doesn't always, it's not registering always. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And you could use, in each printing, you could use a different color of underglaze to highlight certain areas, like maybe you just wanted to do it in one area and just squeegee it across that area.
Yeah.
Could you do something like
Oh yeah, totally. I think I just barely kind of scratched the surface. I've been thinking about, you could even do, you could do several colors. You could squeegee that down. You'd have stripes or something. And then you could go back over it and do white on top of it and, as a
Blend it
background or, whatever you want to do. Yeah, there's a lot do with it. I actually think like clay is one of the best printmaking mediums that like, because you can do all kinds of stuff with it. You know what I mean? And if you don't like it, you can scratch it out and or sand it down or like whatever. I mean, so.
Do you ever recycle pots after you've done the screen print? Like there's some stuff mixed in, but do you ever recycle those pots?
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah, I figure it's probably not
Washes
much.
out, yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll scrape it and then recycle it, or sometimes I just throw them away. But
So right now we're waiting for this to dry. That's what's happening right now before we go back, and you're gonna match up that other side.
yeah,
Got it.
I probably actually it's just in the. I was just kind of showing you guys like what the process is. I could probably print it now.
Oh, I didn't mean to.
No, you're good. I was actually gonna just show you guys this print and then maybe just go throw something, but yeah, let's do.
Oh, interesting. See,
So like I'm looking
The
for.
other way, huh?
Layering the design
Totally, and
elements.
then puts the
Yep.
squeegees it from this side.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm looking for. I always look for this little guy right there, and then these guys up here. So that looks about right. Usually I would have like wet it down and then
Right.
laid it, but it'll work just fine this way. It'll work. I'll give you an
This
idea.
feels just so smooth, like just
The squeegee.
no the underglaze.
Oh yeah.
It's like nice.
And Amico underglaze is made of clay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
I guess it's gotta be pretty fine to
it's
go
the
through
finest of clay
that
particles that make it.
screen.
Yeah.
Decanting to make terracotta white. It's even
Right.
finer.
This is I think it's like 110. It's a 110 mesh screen. So it's not super fine, like they make them, finer for printing. But yeah, so this will have, like both of those images on there.
Really.
How do you decide on like these different sizes of paper? Is it kind of random how you cut it up, or?
Yeah, it's kind of random.
Yeah.
I think I kind of end up with like a lot of different, like I'll try to make them some for like mugs. I'll concentrate on that, but then a lot of like this sort of stuff, I'm kind of mostly looking for, maybe I'll do a bigger piece of paper and I'll kind of think about like what's interesting that's happened in this like corner, and then I'll cut that out or something like that, So I'm almost like as interested in all those like little weird accidents that happen as I am like the image.
perfection,
Yeah, the perfection of the image.
Do you end up throwing away any papers that you screen print?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, sometimes like I haven't been doing this process all that long. When I was learning how to do it, dude, I would just like spend a whole night screen printing and not be happy with any of it and throw it all away,
Yeah.
And actually like the vinyl, when I was doing it with the vinyl, I found it a lot harder for whatever reason to get a good print. And with the traditional silkscreen, it's like easier to get it.
Were you saying that they peel up and stuff while you're?
They peel up. Yeah. I mean, it's it's a teeny tiny little
Vinyl.
piece of plastic adhered to like threads. I mean, it's not gonna last forever.
So you can cut one pattern and another, you could put maybe 2 or 3 papers of pieces all together around it, not the same, just parts of the parts you like, or
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what he does.
Yeah. Let me show you these. I'll
These
show you
are all
bases real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder, just maybe, or maybe if he's got a little piece and he finds a design, he can use it. Spray it, maybe, but ask him.
Do you keep these because you're planning to reuse them?
No, these are all prints. So this is my
haven't been
stack
used
of
yet.
prints.
Haven't been used.
Those are
Yeah.
ready to go. He hasn't. Once you put it on the
Yeah.
pot, it's done.
So you would
Yeah.
just re-wet it So that's like one of
That's
these
what-
that you made, and then you just set aside and dried it.
Yeah.
And then you would come back and you'd re-wet it and then apply it to the pot.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
just like a whole. Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
You wet
So
the
yeah,
pot
these.
too, a little bit.
Yeah. You want me to? I'll throw a pot. You guys want to look at a mug?
Yeah.
I'll throw a mug real quick and
All those
I'll show
pieces of
you
paper.
how to apply it to a mug on the wheel, and then I'll apply it to that, and then I'll apply it to this piece too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
All right. I'll go through it real quick.
You could, I know.
Well,
you
let's
could-
go.
I used to cut vinyl. The wheel. Sandblasting, and you could never, I'd do huge pieces. Never.